Hello, BookTube, and welcome back to the Wild Digest. I'm not going to say the Wild West Digest in this episode because while we are in the midst of June on the Range, this is not really an official installment. This is more of an adjacent, a June on the Range adjacent episode, because I went out and visited a few local bookshops today with a friend of mine, and I've got a little bit of footage I'll just drop in. There's not a lot here. But the whole point of this was to go out and specifically look for Westerns. So that makes it June on the Range adjacent. And I did walk away with some Westerns that I wanted to share with you. So this is a haul video. Oh, yay. I know some of you love haul videos. Who am I kidding? I enjoy them too. And I went out and got some great stuff today and hardly spent any money. But there's also some stuff I wanted to show in the same video that is science fiction and adventure and a few other things that I picked up from those same stores. So we're going to call this one June on the Range adjacent, but it's most definitely a mid-June book haul. Let's go with that for our title. Okay, so now that we have our thumbnail, I wanted to show you some stuff that I picked up today. We went down to Planet Books and Once Read Books, and both of these stores, shops, we'll say shops. I know some people have issues with the word store. Both of these shops are located about 35-ish miles from me. I'm in the San Fernando Valley here in California, and these two stores are within each other, with about 5 miles of each other, down in the Long Beach, California area. So the first one is Planet Books, and they're located in Signal Hill, California. And then the second one we went to is Once Read Books, and they're located more or less on the outskirts of Long Beach. So they're within just a few miles of each other, and whenever my friend and I go down to visit one, we wind up visiting both. So, Planet Books, I've talked about in the past. They used to be in a large warehouse space, but up until just a few months ago, I believe their lease came to an end. The owner of that building wanted to do something else with it, and so they were forced to move out. And there was a video posted to the local news that I will link to below if you want to go and take a look at it. And you'll also find links to their social media. You can check them out there as well. But they have an enormous selection of used books. And in their old space, like I said, it was a big warehouse, sort of that old style. I forget what it's like, a Quonset hut or whatever. It's like a domed building, obviously very, very, very old. Probably going back to the oil industry, because Signal Hill is just widespread tapped with oil wells. But they moved out of there, and they moved into a new space, and I must say this was my first visit to the new space. It is a vast improvement. It has a large open area, but huge skylights. So the amount of light in that store is incredible. Obviously, if you're visiting during the day, the evening might be trickier, but I can't comment on that. But the main shopping area was very brightly lit. They also had a couple of side rooms, one which was just loaded with like Eaton Press and, sort of those deluxe leather-bound type gilt-edged books from a variety of publishers, and some cabinets with other hardcover collectibles. And then probably my favorite room, which was all bagged vintage collectible paperbacks. And that's where you found loads and loads and loads of Ace Doubles, and that included Ace Doubles Westerns and mysteries and science fiction, but lots of other vintage science fiction, mystery, etc., etc. So a lot of fun was spent in that room alone, and I picked up a few things out of there, including a couple of really, really nice Ace Western doubles, which I will show you in just a moment. And they also had, and they have an incredible selection of science fiction, Star Trek novels, lots of Star Trek novels. I picked up a couple more because I'm going to be reading that in August. I'll be reading some Trek novels for that event, and I found a few other oddities while poking around in there that I just had to bring home with me. And I'll show all of that in the next few minutes. Their new pricing is a little different. It's, I believe, $3 trying to remember what it was. 3 for $5? Is that right? I might be wrong on that regard, but I'll show in the video. You can see what the price is on the edge of the shelf. They used to do more of a. You'd bring a stack of books up to the counter, and they would look through them and just make snap judgments on how much they would cost you, which was a little wonky to say the least. But now they've more or less said, hey, listen, if they're on these shelves, they go for this much. And I think he cut some deals too in there. So it worked out great. I'm really happy with what I got. And then I'm going to show you the stuff from Planet Books first, and then we will bump over to the stuff I got from Once Read Books. I think some of the stuff might be mixed up a little bit. Yes, it is. Absolutely 100% is. We're going to switch that, reverse it. I'm going to actually show you all the Westerns I got first. And some of these were from Planet Books, and some of them were from Once Read. And then we'll go over to the adventure, science fiction, and a few other oddities that I picked up at both of the stores. Whew. Sorry for the confusion there. All right, let's start going through the Westerns that I got. Again, this crosses over 2 different stores. So because these are bagged, I'm going to assume these 2 came out of Planet Books. These are both Ace Double Westerns. And these ones are bagged. I have some other ones in here that are not bagged. And I think the ones that weren't bagged, I actually found at Once Read for a very good deal. But these ones cost me a little bit more. But, I mean, I made some great deals today. So the first one is The Drifter. And I'm not sure of the author here. I mean, a lot of these doubles authors were either pseudonyms or authors that just didn't do a lot of other stuff. So I haven't dipped into, let's just say I haven't dipped into some of these authors. So the first one is from Burt Arthur, and it's The Drifter. Pretty nice cover there. Again, it looks like a, what's his name? Steve Holland? Savage Steve Holland, was that his name? I forget. So that's The Drifter on one side, and on the back side is The Longhorn Trail. This one's interesting because it has 2 authors, Richard Wormser and Dan Gordon. So if anybody knows about either of them, let me know. In both cases, these say complete and unabridged. So these are the complete novels. And as you can see, it is the red and green spine of the Ace Double Westerns. So that is our first one. Our next one, this is Merle Consteiner, and it is Guns at Q Cross. And then on the flip, from Tom West, it's The Toughest Town in the Territory. And this is one of the later ones, so you can see they kind of did that green and white side by side that you kind of flip over, but as opposed to being the top and bottom. All right, well, we're on this Ace Double kick. These ones, as I said, if they're not in the bags, they were acquired at Once Read Books, and in this case, they were, I think, I don't know, like $2.95 each, something along those lines. Mr. Six Gun by Brian Wynn, and on the back is The Wolf Slayer by William E. Vance. Know nothing about it, and it's this type of spine for those following along at home. Our next one, green and white, is The Ghost Riders by Philip Ketchum. Another great cover on that one there. And then on the back side, we have Hard Case Halloran by Bill Newman or William Newman. Again, I've heard very, very good things about this author, so I definitely will be reading this one, hopefully sooner than later. Condition on some of these is, it's up and down. Most of these, I don't know. I think this one, it's solid, but it looks like it has some weird staining on it. I don't think that's that brown up there, if I can hold it right there, over here on this side here, I don't think that is part of the painting. I think that's actually some kind of staining. So I'm going to see if I can clean these up a little bit later. I don't think I'll ever do an ASMR cleaning video like our good friend Jules does. Okay, next, I couldn't pass this one up. I have another book coming up, The Whistler by E.B. Mann, that I'm hoping to read for June on the Range. If you've been watching my videos, you'll know that one's coming up hopefully soon. But this one is also from E.B. Mann, and it was The Stampede, or just Stampede. And neat cover on that one. Very vintage, EB Man. It's a Dell, and you know what that means? It's a Dell map back, and that's a pretty cool one too. So it'll be interesting to see if that comes into play. If it does down the line, I'll probably do a neat push in on the map and maybe bounce around it when I do my eventual review of that one. Now, my last 4 Westerns, I found all of these at Once Read Books, and I have heard very, very mixed reviews of these. And I believe there's about 28 of these books that were written, and the author is a pen name. I forget the actual author's name. I think it's Letterer is the real author's last name is Letterer. It's like Paul Letterer or something. But I saw these on the shelf. They were $1.95 each. I could not say no, and I don't know what I'm getting myself into. For those who have read these, you'll have to let me know. Rough Justice. This is number 3, Blood on the Moon. I have 4 of these books, and I'm going to show them all to you, so stand by. These are supposed to be violent and sexy and violent, and maybe a little sexy. So I couldn't pass it up. These are all in really, really nice shape, and I've never seen these in any of the bookstores that I've gone into. Your mileage may vary. Rough Justice number 4, Widow Creek. Look at that action going on the cover. Signet Action Adventure, the sensational adult Western series. Wow. I mean, come on. Third one, number 6, The Spirit Woman War. Rough Justice, number 6. What's it say on the cover? Rough had to rescue or kill the Cheyenne's white goddess. Oh, that sounds like it's going to be wonderful. Or the frontier would explode into bloody battle. She devilish trouble. And then last but not least, number 17, we jump ahead, and it's Drum Roll. For Rough Justice, Drum Roll. All the violence and passion of the Old West. And Spanish flu. Rough Justice demands unconditional surrender when he goes after a sexy lady and a savage killer. Yeah. I don't know. I'm almost inspired to want to read one of these stupid things before the end of June on the Range, but we'll see. All right. As I mentioned, I got some other books while I was out today, and I'm going to share those with you. This is no longer June on the Range content per se. This is actually going to be science fiction and adventure and a few other things. So if you're not into that, swipe away and keep watching for an upcoming June on the Range video, which should drop very, very soon. I have a review of The Deputy Sheriff of Comanche County by Edgar Rice Burroughs coming up soon, so watch for that. But let's go into some of the other stuff I picked up in this haul today. This is a book I have been trying to find in the wild for a little while now, more than a little while now, and I found a fantastic condition copy. This was also at Planet Books, and it is The God Whale by T.J. Bass, and I've been trying to find this one for a while, and I just did not want to pay the prices that I was seeing it go for on eBay. Not tons of money, but I didn't feel like it was worth my spending any extra money for shipping, etc., just to get this one book. So seeing it on the shelf in such nice condition, and again, for whatever the Planet Books price is that you now know because you've looked at the video, that was definitely probably my favorite pick of the day. This was a neat one, and this one was just priced like all the other paperbacks that I got off the shelf at Planet Books, so whatever that price was. This is Adele, H. Rider Haggard's King Solomon's Mines. Really nice edition of this, the story of the MGM picture, it says on the cover, and being Adele, would you look at that? That's got a map back on it for King Solomon's Mines. How cool is that? This is definitely, believe it or not, I've never read any Haggard. I don't think I have anyway. So I haven't read she or this. So if I am to read King Solomon's Mines, I'm going to read this cool edition. It's beautiful. I mean, look at that great cover from the film. So that was a cool find. Put that aside. I'll show that in a second. Okay, we have a science fiction ace double. This was definitely I had to grab this one because it's Lee Brackett, Alpha Centauri or Die. Robot alert! Stop that starship. And on the back of this one is G. MacDonald Wallace's Legend of Lost Earth. Only traders talk of Terra. And it's just one of the blue and white side by side ones. So not in fantastic shape, but totally readable and solid. This one I saw on the shelf, and it was in the science fiction, but it's not science fiction. But when I saw the title and looked at the cover, it just absolutely drew me in. I could not say no. It went in my bag. This is The Red Fathom by Robert Edmund Alter. So if you know anything about this book, I'd love to hear from you. But it sounds like it's just an action adventure story, and but I don't know. It sounded fun. It's got a really cool cover, and I think the opening description talks about a friend being eaten by a shark. So that's going to be great. Then I grabbed this, and shockingly, I already own a copy of this, but not this particular Sphere edition. I forget which edition I have of it, but it's John Christopher, The World in Winter. I'm an enormous John Christopher fan. This copy, you can see it's got some creasing on the cover. It's not in great shape. It's definitely solid. I mean, the spine looks beautiful, if you can see it there. Little crease on there, but not too bad. But as I said, I'm a John Christopher fan. I don't mind when I'm collecting a particular author. I don't mind if I get multiple editions of their work. So this will go up on the shelf with all the other John Christopher books I have, as well as that other edition I have of this particular novel. So, but I saw it and I definitely didn't recognize that cover, so it definitely had to come home with me as well. So, as I had mentioned in August, I'm going to be reading Star Trek novels, as I did last year. And I have a whole bunch of original series novels that I'm planning on reading. But what I realized was, shockingly, even though I read tons of them back in the day, I don't have any Next Generation books in my collection. Weird, I know. So I thought I would just grab a couple. And this, literally, I grabbed these at random. So if you know these books, let me know if they're any good. But I got Balance of Power. Looks like it's number 33. Next Generation. This one is number 60, Tooth and Claw. And then this was, I had to grab this. And I don't know, I mean, I suppose I will read it in August. What is the name of that event again? That's it. It's this one. It's a Star Trek Which Way book. This is basically a choose your own adventure Star Trek novel. Star Trek Phaser Fight, and it's in great shape. I had to grab it. I know they did a few of these, and they did some that had different covers as well. These were written with kids in mind, so it's it's got some goofy art in there. Yeah, how very Star Trek is that? But hey, why not? I figured that'd be a fun little side jaunt during the Trek reading event, so I grabbed that as well. That's it. So, just so you know, this is the store, Planet Books, serving Long Beach and the community. That address that you see on there is no longer their address. That's their old address, and I think the phone number is valid. So if you need to call them for any reason. All right. So that is it. Just a little book haul from a lazy Sunday afternoon, whilst my better half is off in Sweden shooting a series of commercials for the week. So, wife is awake, book collector will play. And I hope you enjoyed this little book haul. As I said, there's lots more stuff coming up for June on the Range. And also, Rocket Summer is coming up. And I may be involved in some way. So stay tuned for all that. Lots of great stuff coming up on the Wild Digest. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you very, very, very soon.